Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Buclo. This is my co-star, Michael Delarada. He is um, the owner and CEO of a fishing company, and I am not. So that's where we're at.
Nice,
Today
love it.
we are going to be talking about something or something else. Possibly a little bit of artificial intelligence, a little bit of something else. We'll sprinkle a little dash of nothing in there a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
What's up, gangster? How's it going?
Living the dream. We're just on the lake. It's hot in
All right.
Texas. I hate the heat. It's only April 21st, and it's hot.
How hot?
Like, okay, the other day it was like 89, and then yesterday it was like monsoon weather. It rained like for 12 straight hours. But then today, now we're back up to 78, and temperatures are rising to 91 on Tuesday.
Yeah,
It's like,
uh,
God,
yeah,
just
dude.
kill me
Yeah.
now, dude.
Yeah. So you like fishing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obviously,
Tell me about fishing. Tell me about the boat you just bought. Tell our audience about the boat you just bought.
I didn't buy
That
no
your friend
boat.
bought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. He got a good boat. He got a nice ski boat, which he was looking for. So, it's a nice Malibu Echelon. So he really enjoyed it. We drove up and picked it up yesterday. So super exciting for him. And I also want a boat, but I want a fishing boat. And unfortunately, boats are expensive. And we make
Hmm.
no income on this podcast. So
If anyone wants to send us some money, I'll drop my Venmo below.
yeah, we'll put our Venmos in the chat.
Um, what's the difference between a fishing boat and a ski boat?
So fishing boats typically like you got like an outboard engine, right? So the outboard engine, it's like you ever seen a boat and you see the engine just like chilling on the back, right?
Isn't that all boats? Like the engine's not like inside of something? I thought they're all like outside the engine
No,
or outside.
so like fishing boats and hybrid fishing ski boats, you have an outboard engine. So there's three different types of boats you can get. You can get a boat with an outboard engine, you can get a boat with a hybrid inboard outboard, and then you can get a full inboard engine. So all the ski boats, high performance boats, they all have the inboard engine. So if you ever look inside of a ski boat and you see this big
Um,
like hump in the middle, you open that hatch and that's the engine, right? Because it's centralized. Now the hybrid inboard outboard is you have like the jet propellers that are shooting out the water that's cycling through, but there's also a propeller that sticks out the back. So all you
mm,
see from looking at the back of the boat is a propeller, and then the outboard engine is legit just like you just see everything, and it's just like it looks like somebody grabbed an engine, took two clamps, and stuck it on the back of like a floating thing. Like
well, isn't it? It's like got a shell on it, right? Like a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. It's got
Okay.
like a shell, but I'm just saying like they built the engine separately and they can put it on any boat.
I see. I see. I see. That's sick.
Yeah, so
So
he
I
got.
heard that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I heard that fishing boats are about half the price in Grand Junction as opposed to Dallas.
It's not even like. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's tough because like a lot of fishing boats in Junction are fly fishing boats. Um,
Are or aren't?
are
Mm.
so fly fishing boats have no engine. It's literally a paddle boat, but it's like a certain shape so it can hit big waves. But you got like two paddles, so you're doing it like this.
They use a rowboat.
It's yeah, rowboat, right? So, but it's like banana shaped. Yeah.
Is it like this?
No, 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 no,
Is it curved?
no, 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 no,
Um,
no. I'll pull it up.
oh
Let me
my
see.
I know something else that's curved.
All right, here I'll show you.
Whoops. Uh, I'm uncensored today. I'm no filter today.
Well, I mean, aren't we all? Like
Aren't we all? I hope so.
I'm always uncensored. I feel
Show me
like
the banana boat. I want to see the
I'm.
banana
I'm
boat.
trying to find you a good picture of this banana boat. Here you go.
The audience is waiting. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know what
know.
to tell you.
I know. Just pipe down. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Let me see. Let me see this stuff.
Oh wait. Sorry.
Oh tiring. Fuck.
It's this. See how it's like banana shaped?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's like if you
Cool.
gotta hit big waves in the front on the river, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like banana
Yeah,
shaped.
I hear
Any,
that.
anyways,
Cool.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
have that boat.
No. I want that boat, but that boat is also like 5 grand. So
What?
yeah,
So where does one get 5 grand from? That's the next one.
work, I guess.
I guess. Maybe there's a few options. I think you can steal it, inherit it, whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah, but you steal the boat, you're going to jail.
Well, you don't steal the boat, you steal the $5,000, and then you buy the boat.
You steal anything, you're going to jail.
Well, that depends. Are you getting caught? Are you not getting caught?
Oh, I'm getting caught.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Mm.
where are you gonna store a fucking banana boat, and hide it?
Dude, like I can't even store a canoe right now if I wanted to.
I have a great idea. Have you ever heard of a pack raft?
I have heard of a pack raft.
That could be your fly fishing boat.
It's also
They're
like,
only like $1,000.
yeah, that's a
What do you
thousand
think?
bucks. That's $1,000.
Yeah, but how much does your quality of life go up when you have a pack raft or boat?
I do fish it almost every day.
Yeah, how sick would it be if you could be in the middle of the lake instead of on the shore?
Yeah, that's what we did today. We catch any fish? No.
Did you have a way better time?
Yes, cause
Yeah.
cause we're on a boat, like we're in the lake, we're riding around on a boat, you're with other people, like I guess when I just go like shore fishing, it's like just driving over there, chucking on the GoPro and just, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Do you track your steps ever?
Yeah, roughly at work, I don't get that many steps. I'll get like 5,000 steps at work. That's about it.
Mm.
And
And then
then if I go fishing at night, I'll probably end the day with like 15 to 17,000 steps.
what?
Yeah.
Fuck, I went on like a mile and a half walk today around campus or CMU with Ginger, and I'm sitting around 5,000, 5,200, 5,300 steps.
Yeah, because like I'll walk around, like the pond I go to is like a mile
Mhm.
radius, and I'll probably walk around it 3 or 4 times in the next three
What?
hours.
You're walking 4 miles just to go fishing?
Just well, like you fish here for like 5 minutes, and like all right, I'm gonna
Hmm.
move. And then it's like you take 10 steps, and then you fish again. You take
Hmm.
10 steps, you fish again, and then
Yes.
eventually in 4 hours, I make 3 loops.
You eat when you're doing that?
Well, I eat before I leave work, and then I'll go, and then I'll come home, and then I'll eat.
That sounds awful. I feel like I'd need 7 sandwiches in that time.
I mean, like when we used to go fly fishing, I'll never forget this time we went fly fishing with my dad and a bunch of our old neighbors, and we all got
Hmm.
super shit faced the night before, right?
Hmm.
And you're wearing like these waders, and it was cold, right? So you have all these like layers, and you have your waders, right? And we all feel like trash, right? But this was like a few years ago, right? And this is when we were like, me and you were drinking heavy in college, And well, you, not I mean me, not you. Anyways, so I was like, I felt fine the next morning. Then you got all these old geezers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like walking behind them, and I was like, guys, I smell the alcohol off of you, just like, and they're like, I feel like trash. But long story short, we walked like 4 or 5 miles just to get to the spot. We fished like for 8 hours, and then we had to walk 4 or 5 miles back.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if that's worth it for me.
I think it's definitely worth it because it's like you catch some big fish in that time period. It's like that walk was worth it. I mean, you get skunked and you're out there for 8 hours in the river. You're exhausted and you got no fish. That sucks.
That's, I want I want to eat the things that I catch. Like I want to catch a fish and then I want to eat it. You know?
I have mixed feelings about that
Why?
because it's like people like me, right? I want to catch the fish to just catch the fish and then let him go.
Hmm.
I find the enjoyment of just catching the fish.
Well, let me throw this your way. Like, you're literally just gonna throw in this hook to torture a fish for it to inevitably be tortured again rather than catching your food.
And these are valid scenarios. Do not get me wrong. And I'm, like, I see you, but for me personally, like, I see that I am torturing the fish because I am tricking the fish to thinking this is food for my enjoyment. It sounds terrible, you know, but like, I enjoy it.
um, yeah, what I like the idea of like throwing something in the water, but I don't want it to have any. I don't want to catch a fish. Like that's what I don't want to do. That I don't want to catch the fish. I like the idea of like sitting there and having something in the water and just like being in nature. But like I want to, I kind of want to do something. I want to cast something a little bit, you know.
But you don't want to
I
catch
don't want to
anything.
catch anything. I don't want to catch anything. I just want to have a pole and I just want to have like just a weight on the end and just throw it in the water. That's really what I want.
I mean, I will tell you, some fish are really stupid. They might go for that weight and try and
Yeah,
eat it.
that's fine. If they want to eat my weight, that's fine. I'll just yank that right out of their mouth, though. It's not hooking them.
What if they swallow it and then you try to pull them out and it's in the stomach? You know what I'm saying?
I'll fucking yank that bitch out.
But you got to catch the fish to yank it out.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. If worse comes to worse and they want to bite the little weight that's on there, that is fine. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I get it. I do. But I'm not killing no fish. I'm throwing them all back. Like
Yeah, I do wonder how many. Like, say you catch a fish,
mhm.
how many times do you think that fish has been caught before?
Probably quite a bit.
Really?
We went fly fishing one time and I caught this fish. I was like, "There's something wrong with like I'm reeling him in. I'm like, there's something wrong with this fish. Like he's got something like coming out of the side of his face, right? He got hooked so many times for eating like hooks that his gill detached from his neck and it was just like chilling, right? And then I was just like, and I just let him go. I'm like,
Whoop. Ah,
what am I gonna do?
uh,
Just kill it?
no, 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 no. I think yeah, I hear that. Have you ever seen Jackass?
Obviously.
Have you ever seen when Steve-O is in the water and he hooks
Yeah.
gets reeled in?
Bro, he took a real hook and hooked
No,
himself through the
he
cheek.
stuck it through his fucking cheek,
Mhm.
and someone reeled his ass in.
I know. I mean, like, ballsy, dude.
Ballsy.
Do you see the one of,
Ball.
like, Johnny Knoxville? He's got a cigarette in his mouth and he's got a blindfold. And they let a bull through, and the bull ran straight at him, and he did, like, 2 flips in the air and just landed straight down. Yeah.
Yes, I have seen that.
I was
Yes.
like, he's, like, sitting there, he's, like, shaking. He's got a cigarette in his mouth, dude. I was like, oh, my God.
Oh my! Just lets a bull attack him.
Yeah.
Christ.
Like,
That's crazy.
why would you want to do that?
Do you think that artificial intelligence would let itself get hit by a bull?
Probably.
Like if you like programmed a robot with AI and you were like, go do this, you just do it.
It would just do it, I think.
Hmm.
I don't think
What
it's
if you
like,
could like,
oh, go ahead.
what if you could like program a robot to feel pain, and then like you were like, go do that. Do you think it'd do it still?
Here's my thing with robots and pain.
Okay.
You can program a robot to feel pain,
Okay.
but you can't program a robot to know when it's been hurt. So I can sit here and program this robot to feel pain, right? But then if I went and like punched him in the foot, for example, he's gonna be like, he's not gonna know that that was pain. He's gonna be like, something hit my foot. He doesn't know that that's classified
What's
as
the difference?
pain.
What's the difference between feeling pain and knowing that it is pain?
Because like I don't think like you can literally program something to be like, if I flick you hard enough, he's gonna be like, ow. I think he's just not gonna do anything. Cause
Well, I mean, like, how do you know if it's feeling pain? I mean, that might be a conversation about like whether it's feeling pain or whether it's feeling emotion, because like the emotion that comes with pain might be anger or fear or whatever.
But I don't
And
think
if
you
you
can program something to feel emotion.
maybe not, but that also comes into like question of like if AI ever does become like self-aware, is that emotion? Like what is self-awareness?
I don't think self awareness is emotion.
Tell me more.
Huh?
Tell me more.
If a robot becomes self aware, I my understanding is that it's aware of its surroundings and what's happening like around, right? So I don't think it takes into effect like anything else that he's feeling. So as pain, emotion, like he's just like, holy shit, that person is now fishing. Before he was self aware, he didn't know what that person was doing. He didn't know what that activity was called, right? He's now self aware that an individual is fishing, a human is fishing, right? But before he's self aware, he's like, there is a human over there completing an activity. It's not self aware, but it knows that a human is doing something.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that like self-awareness is like just becoming aware of its own existence, not about what other things are doing. Because a robot could identify that someone is driving a car. I mean, it does it all the time. You think about like a traffic camera. That traffic camera is literally programmed to look at things that are driving. Like whether it knows that it's a camera looking at things that are driving is like what I think what the question is.
Right. Well, I'm just saying like I think self-awareness is like you also be have to be aware of your surroundings. Like that traffic camera, right? It only detects if a car is driving. It has no other recollection of what else is happening around. Its sole purpose is to detect a car driving, right?
Huh.
So, I think a robot is like I have a sole purpose to complete a task that was given to me via programming, whatever,
Mhm.
right? And I think if it becomes self-aware, it's like okay, I know who I am. I know what's happening around me. I know what that individual is doing without being programmed for something to tell me what that person is doing. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Have you seen the movie Ex Machina?
No, never heard of it.
Ah, damn it, dude. It's so good. And it's kind of about robotic self-awareness and highly so good. Such a good movie. Like fantastic film. Um and like there's a test that you can do to determine if a robot is like self-aware. And like basically the movie's basis is them performing that test and this guy asking this robot like questions and doing things with it to try and determine if it is like it is if it is passing this test, if it has obtained self-awareness. And um like the determination in the movie is that it has, and then it murders the two humans and leaves. And like I wouldn't say that or maybe I would, I don't know, like is that a show of anger by that robot because it has been kept in a locked room for its entire life and like bullied and told what to do and blah blah blah? Is that like an act of anger? Is
I,
that emotion?
I don't. Okay, I see like how it could be like, oh, you locked me in a room. I'm killing your ass, right? Regardless, right? But I think it's more of like you locked me in a room, okay? Now I'm out of this room, and I think I'm gonna eliminate my threat before I get locked in this room again. I don't think it's angry at these people. I think it's like you locked me in a room. Now I'm free. And who's gonna lock me in a room again? Only these two people. So let's just get rid of these two people. It could go that way, of just like a logical sense instead of an emotional sense.
Could be.
Oh yeah, I
Or it
don't.
could be an emotional side. Or it could be
It
fucking pissed.
you know what? And I don't doubt that, but like, we just never know.
Is it possible, do you think, to for something that humans create to have emotion? Or is that only with like carbon-based life forms?
I don't know because obviously I'm unqualified, but I'm just saying like
Okay.
I don't know how they program stuff. Like
How would you program them? Like, how do you tell something to feel this way?
I think you would have to like program it as if like you punch me. Now you feel pain and then you feel anger, right? So I think they're like scenario based.
Well, I mean, yes, that's a progression of like I'm punching you and now you should be angry,
Right.
right? How do you have something instead of you don't because you can't that's not real emotion. That's like fake emotion. You're telling something
Yeah.
how to feel. If you could be a very nice guy and I punch you in the face and you're not even phased. You're like, oh, hey, accidents happen, no big deal. Like as a
Mm-hmm.
person, how do you like? What if a robot was just like I don't know, you bumped into it and all of a sudden it was fucking livid. How do you tell it when to get angry at? Because then you have to say, okay, here's every single situation that anger should arise at. Here's every single situation where sadness should arise at, and you know,
I,
so forth.
and I get that, right? But I think when they program like okay, you know the movie I Am Legend?
I
With
Legend is not about robots. I
I mean,
Robot?
I mean, I Robot. I'm sorry, I was thinking two Will Smith movies.
Will Smith is just in your brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I Robot, right?
Mhm.
Um, remember that scene where he's like in the room and there's like thousands of robots and they're looking for one that like went rogue and he's peeking his head and they
Yeah,
find
yeah.
him.
Well,
Yeah,
is it like in the warehouse where all the robots are
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
standing?
yeah.
Yes.
So like I think what they would do is they would take every robot, right? And you have the scenarios. Okay, here's every scenario where anger should arise. They take robot A and be like, you get angry at 8 out of these 10 scenarios. They take robot B and be like, you get angry 4 out of these 10 scenarios. And then they just like keep mix matching all of these, you know?
Manufacturing personality.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how else could you program emotion?
Well, that's kind of the argument that I make. I don't think you can program emotion. I think you have to like I don't know if we have the capability to do this, but like from what I know, okay,
Oh
this is
god.
this is baseless. This is
Oh.
completely baseless. Based on movies, based on my own perception. I am not a programmer. I am completely unqualified, but I'm gonna say this anyway.
Okay.
Right? So like what I have, my understanding of robots becoming like self-aware are like it just kind of happens like their code is like a thing always has code. You can't just like work around that, but it's able to like write its own code in a way. And so that is when like it tells itself when to feel certain things, right? And so that's sort of talk to me. Talk to me. No, I don't want to say anything. Talk to me.
Okay. Hear me out. Isn't
Talk.
that basically evolution?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So you're telling me this robot evolves itself to
Mhm,
program itself
mhm.
to feel angry in scenario 1
Or yeah,
or scenario
or it's
2.
like
I don't know.
now I think I'm gonna get angry when someone walks past me on the street, or I don't like it when people walk past me on the street. I'm gonna now get angry at that, right?
I mean, I don't think we have the capability to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, I totally no. I prefaced that at the beginning. I 100% agree. I
I
don't know, but that's the thing. Like, whenever something in movies becomes like self-aware, no one ever does that on. It doesn't happen on purpose. No one ever programs something to all of a sudden become self-aware. Even in iRobot, Sunny was the only one who was like self-aware. Even though Vicky went rogue, she was still like working off of the original code that she was given. Although her interpretation of that code changed. Well, now
that's
I don't fucking know.
that's
I
what
feel like I
I'm
just drove
saying.
myself in a circle.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you're making no sense right now.
Well, you know what like I'm working like if something can tell itself what to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not be told what to do by something else. That is kind of self-awareness. In terms of like code, you know.
So you think, let's put this into human perspective,
All right,
for example, okay?
let's go. Give me talk to me.
So I'm self aware.
Okay,
So are
you
you.
say so.
Obviously. I get probably, I mean, nobody's the same, right? So, like, I may get angry at different situations than you do.
Okay.
So, is that my body just reprogramming itself to feel an emotion in a different way?
Well, no, I don't think that life forms with as advanced brains as humans have are in a way reprogramming their brain because we are products of our environment. In a, the only environment that a robot or AI knows is what it's been told. The only environment that we know is what we've experienced.
Okay, so hear me out. Now, 10 robots hang out with each other. Okay?
This is like the start to a bad joke.
10
10
robot.
robots walking to a bar.
Yeah. So 10 robots hang out with each other.
Okay.
You don't think robot A is like, I was told to do this, so I'm going to do it this way. And then you got robot B over here, like, I was told to do it this way, right? And you don't think
Mhm.
robot A is like, maybe that is the better way, and reprograms itself to follow robot B.
Well, what are the underlying assumptions that we're working with for robot A or B? Like, are we talking, is this just, it has been programmed to do a task,
Okay,
or is it like a is like, what are we, tell me more.
they're not self aware. We'll put it this way.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
robot A and B are not self aware. Now, take this water bottle, for example. Robot A is like, oh, you twist left to open the bottle. Robot B is dumb and he's programmed to try and twist it right to open the bottle. Now they are locked in a room for 3 weeks, whatever, a month. We'll put it that way. Now, you don't think Robot B is like, man, I can't get this bottle open. How do I do this? And he looks at Robot A and he twists it left and he opens it. Now, Robot B is like, I'm going to twist it left. Did he just reprogram himself without being self aware?
Maybe, maybe. I mean, well, it's interesting. Kind of what that makes me think of. I've seen like machine learning. They're like people programming like AI to play video games, for instance. There's this game called Trackmania, and like they'll program a robot to try and complete the course as fast as possible. And what this robot then does is it'll throw out a million attempts at this course. Like it will try over and over and over and over and over until it gets it right. Right? So it'll take every single path until it figures out the right one. It's like going through a maze blind. You can do it if you have enough chances, you know? Like if you can memorize the beginning to end as you go through it, you may hit a wall, but then you turn left and you're like, oh, this is the right way. Oh, and you just keep going. Like I kind of think I think it'll learn from its own mistakes, but I don't know if it's gonna learn by seeing something else do it.
Okay. You lock Robot A in a room by itself for a month.
Okay.
You give him a water bottle and you program him to turn it right to open. Okay.
Okay.
And he's in there like, it doesn't open, but I've been programmed to try and turn it right.
Okay.
You think it's going to reprogram itself to turn it left to open?
Don't know. I think it depends on like the specific program because if you tell something you are only able to try to turn this right, I don't think it's gonna do it. I don't think it's just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna try left. It does not have that type of that. I don't think that's possible.
So that's why I think we have the advantage as a human over robots because we have critical thinking skills.
I mean, what if you could program something to like? Okay. Well, think about this. Like, think about like Ultron, for instance.
Yeah.
Regardless of Ultron's like abilities, he has access to the entire internet,
Yeah.
right? And so he can like his thinking ebbs and flows based on what he can learn. from that? What if you had a robot like that? Is that critical thinking? Is it like, oh, I like there's this problem ahead of me. I'm gonna see what something else has done. I'm gonna go look up a YouTube video about this and find out the best way to do it, or what a human would do this. You
Dang,
know?
I didn't even think about that because, like, in my instance, right, if I don't know how to do something, first place I go is YouTube, right? I'm like, how do I do this? Or like, how do I tie a tie, right? You go to YouTube, right? I guess Ultron, for example, right? He just does that in his head, you know? He just, like,
Yeah.
scans the
He
internet.
constantly has all the access. And so what if a robot could have that access, but it also wasn't like self-aware. It's just using the information that is provided to solve a problem.
All right, hear me
Talk
out.
to me.
I'm not bringing up, this is totally fictional.
Just say it.
Totally fictional. Let's put it this way, there's a war in the US, okay? And you got two robots, Robot A and Robot B, and they have the same power as Ultron, right? And they think this war is a roadblock in their programming. Do you think that they're going to search the internet to try and solve this war?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe, yeah. If they have that, they're like, oh, war is happening, and my programming tells me that I am supposed to help humans no matter what. And it's not like any specific people, it's just like I need to help humans thrive the best that they can. This war is not helping them thrive. I think it might try to solve that. But also, what kind of means is it going to solve it? Because say it looks that up and it sees, oh, nuclear weapons, right?
That's what
And
I'm
then all
saying. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
or it could find peaceful. It could say, oh, you know what? A lot of problems have been solved through like negotiations or treaties or whatever you can. And what is it going to go negotiate with two countries?
So that's where I think the critical thinking skill comes in because it's like I think it's going to make an irrational decision based off the first answer it finds off Google, right? So like you said, nuclear bombs. It's like, okay, nuclear bombs have nuclear bombs are available. Okay, we'll put it that way, right? I'm going to go grab a nuke and I'm going to drop it right here. See what happens. I've stopped the war. You know what I'm saying? Or it
Yeah.
could be like, hey, I'm going to go find $1 million and be like, here's $1 million to stop fighting my people. You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think it also depends on like I honestly don't know because if it has access to all the information, like I don't think if it does one Google search, like I don't think that a robot would do that in the instance of Ultron because it has access to all of the information. Like it's gonna see that yes, nuclear bombs are available, yes, peaceful resolutions are available, yes, giving money to one country may help, or the what haves used. But I think at the end of the day, it could. I mean, depending on I don't know how anything
Well,
works,
like, now,
but
how does it determine the.
that's the question, and maybe it determines on speed of resolution, on like casualties. It could be because if it's told, what if its programming tells it not to harm humans? Does that change its? But it also, what if its programming is like, don't harm humans, but solve this conflict in the fastest way possible?
Okay, so going back to your, for instance, okay, your
Okay.
example of. Um, where was I? Not harming humans, right? So like it's programmed to like continue to have humans thrive, right? So now it can't drop a nuclear bomb because that, regardless of the war and who's right and who's wrong, okay, it can't kill humans. Okay, so now it's like, does it know that like this nuclear bomb is gonna kill the humans even though it stops the war?
I mean, for sure. I mean, if you're working with the information provided on the internet, I think it would absolutely see Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be very interesting if you had like a little child robot and then you like put it in like a room and then created a conflict and see what would happen.
What do you mean a child robot?
Okay, bad choice of words. A short robot.
Oh, give it a conflict to resolve, like
Yeah,
regardless of how big or small. Okay,
yeah.
I see what
Because like ants, right? They protect the queen at all costs, at literally all costs. They will go kill themselves to protect this queen, right?
you're
Right? Ants will like they can pick what is it like double their body weight or something like 3 times their body
50
weight
times their body
or
weight or something. I thought.
something like
Yeah,
that.
something
Crazy,
crazy.
right? So like it's gonna go out there and put its life on the line and pick up 50 times its body weight to feed this queen. Do you think a robot would do that to solve a minor conflict?
I mean, if that was its direct, I do. I think like if you program it to do that, it will do that. Like
But
I
at
don't
what
know.
cost, though? Like, is it going to search the internet and be like, oh, this is a minor conflict, but there are bombs available. Let me go pick up a bomb real quick.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what is its underlying protocol. I think that's the like because like think about the movie I, Robot, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those robots are given three laws, and like the third law says like as long you can do this as long as it's not in conflict. I can't remember exactly what it says, but you can do this as long as it's not in conflict with the first two laws. And then you see those robots making decisions based on those three laws. And like even when like at the beginning when Will Smith's daughter dies in the car crash, the most the most immediate and likely person to survive was Will Smith. But and so it was defying the directive of a human because it was saving a human's life. So like that's what it was programmed to do, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so another for instance. This is fun, by
Okay.
the way. I like
Yeah,
talking about robots.
the robots are crazy.
So, you know that scene in The Office where they give Nate a bunch of like tools to like get rid of that wasp nest in the tree?
Yeah.
There's like a bat, a
Yeah.
flamethrower, a crowbar, or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
What if you put a robot that is
Yeah.
only programmed that says like problem solve or resolve conflict? Right? Here's a conflict. This hive or wasp nest. Here is your list of options to resolve this. What do you think it's gonna do?
Well, I need more. Tell me more information. Like, what conflict is it supposed to resolve?
Eliminate the wasps
Okay, that's the conflict. Okay, because like,
without
I mean,
harming anybody.
because there's a few conflicts that you can think about. There's a conflict between workers and wasps, and there's conflicts between robot and wasp, right? And so, which conflict is that supposed to eliminate? Because like the easiest solution for that robot to eliminate its conflict between itself and the wasps may just be to destroy itself. But you know what I'm saying?
No,
The
no, no.
conflict
Elaborate
between-
on destroying itself.
You want me to say more about that?
Why would the easiest conflict for the robot to kill itself?
Well, think about if it had.
That makes Steve, the easiest conflict is get rid of the fucking wasps.
Well, you know, okay. Well, no, because if that thing has a self-destruct button and you tell that robot to resolve this conflict in the easiest manner, boom, it may just fucking click self-destruct and boom, conflict over. Right? Like, if it doesn't exist, there's no conflict between itself and the bee. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, that's facts.
I love how the first direction you went was just like suicide.
From a robot's perspective, because it is completely logical. That is not like there's no self-preservation aspect. For us humans, of course, there's a self-preservation aspect. You're never gonna choose to harm yourself over something else to resolve a conflict.
Why would a robot?
Why wouldn't it?
Why would it?
Because there's no self-preservation. It has no idea that like all it's programmed to do is resolve the conflict. I think you're thinking about it in human terms. Like this is not a
Yeah.
human making rational decisions. This is a thing making logical decisions. I don't know if that's true. That was just what came to my mind. But anyway, back to the
Kill
real
itself.
question. The conflict between
Yeah.
workers and honeybees, I think it's 100% pulling out that flamethrower.
I
100%.
don't know.
What do you think it's doing? But do you remember the tools? What were the tools?
I think it was like
Flamethrower,
a bat.
bat.
I
Uh-huh.
think crowbar.
Crowbar, I think, was on there
There was
too.
4 though. How would
Like
I?
gasoline. I
How would
don't
I
know.
Google that? How?
Nate versus Wasps, The Office.
Okay. Nate versus Wasp. The Office. How to get rid of hornets nest? The Office. Hold on. Here's a little clip.
Of course it stops loading at the best part.
No, let's watch.
Only Verizon. Get their crazy
Oh,
powerful
yeah.
network out here and get 6 months of
Let's get
Disney
some. Let's
Bundle
get
on
some
them.
Stream with 6 months of Disney Bundle on us.
context here.
And watch on the new Galaxy S24 Plus, also on us. Only on
Ooh,
Verizon.
ads. Verizon sponsor us.
I can't click this go away thing.
Okay. Okay.
Hola.
We're watching hella BTD stuff.
Hola. Necesito
Can you still
bueno
see it?
worker. Two
Yep.
es fuerte. Come on.
It's 2 minutes
Hey.
long.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Can you hear it?
No
Yeah.
vayas con ese señor. Lo he visto saliendo con muchos otros y no vuelve nadie.
We don't go with that man.
Can you turn it up a
I've
little
seen
bit?
several men go with that man and none come back.
He perdido amigos.
Left.
Lost friends.
No sé lo que hace con
Oh, it's all the way
ellos.
up.
We don't know what he does with them.
No quiero decir más.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I pick up day laborers and tell them that they'll get paid at 6 p.m. At 5:45, a certain INS agent by the name of Mose Schrute throws them in the back of a van, drops them off in the middle of Harrisburg, and tells them it's Canada.
Hola, amigo.
Hola. ¿Tú es un bueno worker?
Sí, yo muy bueno worker.
Y el acento, ¿dónde are you from?
Scranton. Y before that, La Philadelphia.
You speak English?
Yes, I'm really good at English.
Okay, good. Me too. Get in the car.
Oh, here we go.
guy by our cars?
Hold on.
That is my new maintenance worker, Nate, and you'll be happy to know that he's taking care of that hornet's nest that you've been griping about.
I got stung up my dress.
Poor hornet. I've left him all the tools.
Okay.
Oh shit. A knife, a bow and arrow, and a flamethrower.
That's what
And a
it
bat?
is.
I think there's a bat in there.
Tools he needs.
Oh, and there's nitrogen too, or there's like freezing fluid, whatever.
I think he mentions it. Hold on. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is do or die. If he chooses correctly, he'll conquer the hornets.
And if he doesn't,
He'll die.
beg your pardon?
When did the phrase do or die become so corrupted?
Is that a blowtorch?
No.
Interesting choice.
Yes.
Very, very
Walking away.
Go away.
No.
Oh, there is a bat.
No. What is he doing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Wow.
I mean, I don't know what I would choose if I was Nate. Like, I think like the obvious one to me right now seems like freezing them for them to fall asleep and then just put them in a bag.
Here's my suggestion. Grab the bow and arrow. Okay? And just like go kind of far away and just try to like Hawkeye that shit until like you cut it out of the tree and it hits the ground. And then I think you figure out another way.
What?
Yeah.
And they're pissed off.
Well, they don't know it's you.
They're gonna fucking sting the first thing that comes near them.
Yeah, then you throw Toby out there, he gets stung, and then you deal with it.
I don't know. I honestly think a robot probably would just choose the cold. Truthfully.
I don't know if he's that logical.
Why?
There's no logic behind a robot's programming.
I think that's not true.
I think
it's
if you program a robot and says, solve this solution with these 4 items,
What do you think it's choosing?
with no other background information, I think it's going to choose the fucking baseball bat and just beat the shit out of it.
I thought we were under the impression that this thing had the access to the internet, like Ultron. I thought that's what we were working with.
No, oh, God, that's not what I was working with.
What? You never told me that. That's
Oh.
what I was talking about.
Yeah, that was prior. This is now like, this robot's like kind of a little stupid, you know? So it's like, he
It's
doesn't.
told to get rid of the bees, right? Like
It's told to solve this conflict. And you said self-destruct.
No. That's not the conflict I was talking about. I was talking. If there's 2 conflicts here. right? There's a conflict between Nate and the bees, and there's a conflict between workers and the bees, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the situation between the conflict between Nate and the bees, where Nate is the robot, I think self-destruct is an option.
I don't think so.
I know it's an option. If it has the capability to destroy itself, is that not solving the conflict?
What? It would not solve anything.
It would one in that robot's mind. That conflict between itself and those bees. If that robot does not exist, there's no conflict. Like that's just facts.
I would love to put a robot in that situation and watch and see what happens. Self-destruct. Oh my god. I love, like, how is that the first thing that comes to your dome? You know, like,
It's solving. It's the how you. It's the. It is the quickest way to solve that conflict. 100%.
okay, say it doesn't have a self-destruct button. What is it doing?
Okay, well then, yeah, then I think it's gonna try to destroy the bees.
Okay, I have an idea. Ooh, you have two robots that are programmed the exact same way. Okay,
Robot A, Robot B.
Robot A and Robot B. You have two of them that are programmed the exact same way. One has a self-destruct button and one does not. Do you think one of them is clicking the self-destruct button and the other one is like, well?
I have a great idea here.
Yeah.
So I think the robot with the self-destruct button is gonna go close enough to the other robot and destroy them both. Well, also with that was just a joke. But with that, like, what are they programmed the same way? Like they're told to solve the conflict, right?
That's it. Solve
Between
the conflict.
itself and the bees, right?
Between itself and getting rid of the bees.
Oh well, that changes things.
That has been the
You're telling-
conflict this
No, the
entire
conflict
time.
is between bees and robot. That's the conflict. Like, getting rid of the bees is a whole. It changes the conversation completely.
Okay, what would it do if the conflict was get rid of the bees?
Oh, I mean, if it had the tools, it's gonna pick a tool and it's gonna try and get rid of them.
Okay, what tool?
I don't know. I think. Well, it also depends because if it's tasked with. Because when the workers of the building walk out, it is an annoyance or a hazard to those workers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if the robot is tasked with alleviating the conflict between the workers of the building and the bees, wasps, whatever they are, I think it is probably going to choose the most or the least violent method, because if you take a baseball bat to that, it is only going to anger the bees. But I also acknowledge that a robot may not know that. But I think in the best situation, you freeze all the bees, you put them in a bag, clean all of them up, and throw them away. And that is the best way to get rid of that conflict. Because if you take a baseball bat to it, how are you going to kill every bee? How are you going to get rid of them? How are you going to move it? Like, what are they going to do when you start beating the bat? I think there's too many unknowns.
I think you're too fixated on the bees. Okay, let's change the animal. Okay, say it is a nest of squirrels. Okay, is it still choosing the same option as it would the bees?
I don't think it's gonna. If there's an animal in front of it, if you say alleviate the conflict between the animal in that tree and this, like, I don't know, what's it gonna do? How's it gonna catch the fucking squirrel? I think these are all factors that you have to take into account.
But it has no background information on the insect/animal that it's trying to, the conflict that needs to be resolved, right? Because you said, like, how would you catch all the bees, right? You know, how would you get all the squirrels? Like, you're too fixated on the actual thing. Say there was just like an empty nest there. What is the robot doing?
I have no fucking. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it would even like.
But
is it gonna make a decision? What kind of robot is it? That's also my question. Like, does it like, can it climb a tree, for instance?
I'm thinking of like the iRobot kind of robots.
Okay.
Not like the
We have a bow and arrow. We have a bat, a flamethrower, and ice, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. I think it's just gonna choose the baseball bat 9 out of 10 times.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it would choose. I think also see it 100% just choosing the bow and arrow. And just being like, done. I don't see it anymore. Like, is that what the basis is? Like, what's the robot's basis for when the job is complete also? Like, is it like, I don't see it anymore, therefore it's done?
And also, like, it does not feel pain, so, like...
It wouldn't be stung by the wasps, but it has to think about, like... I mean, I'm thinking of more in-depth programming. Like, you're telling it to solve the conflicts between these people that can feel pain and this thing that is an animal, right? Solve that conflict. So, like...
I'm thinking more of, like, a broad conflict. Here's something hanging from a tree, it's a problem. Alleviate the problem.
I think it needs more. I mean, I want more information. Because from that, yeah, I think it's gonna knock that thing down and it's gonna be done.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah, no, that's not what I want it to solve this problem, not just do something. That's not solving.
Right, and I'm saying, like, I want to only give, like, broad information because I'm genuinely curious of, like, the random thing it will come up with to try to solve the conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you give it all this information, it's obviously like, okay, for the bees, right? It's going to use the ice or whatever, right? It's going to freeze them. It's going to take it away. It's going to capture them. It's going to let them go. It's going to do whatever he's going to do with them, right? But I think if you give it, like, some broad-ass information, I think he's going to come up with some wild solution on its own.
I think you're thinking that it's not going to think that far in depth because you haven't given it anything to think about or to it's going to work with what's programmed, right? And you say solve this, like it's just going to knock the hive out of the tree and then it's going to be done,
Or
right?
it's
Like
going to self-destruct.
blow itself up. I'm thinking of, like, an advanced robot. Like, that has, like, can learn. Like, I was talking about the machine learning earlier. That's kind of what I'm imagining. And I think if you put this same scenario to the same robot who can learn from its mistakes, I think you're totally right. I think it's 100% at first. And I'm thinking about the conflict. Get rid of those honeybees because it is annoying and a hazard to human life who can feel pain, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the assumption you've given, or the conflict you've given to the robot. I think it's going to start with the bat. First try, it grabs that bat. First 1,000 times, maybe it grabs that bat. But I do think it would learn and say, okay, those people are eventually going to walk out. And I need to get rid of them or collect them in some way.
But do you think it's smart enough to be like, this bat is not solving the problem? Because it could sit there and beat the shit out of this nest, right? And it might think the problem will eventually be solved by me doing this. It's not going to know to be like, this is not working, let me grab a different tool.
Yeah, like, what does the robot think? Yeah, I guess it comes down to what does it mean to the robot for this solution to be solved?
Okay.
Like, how does the robot know when it's solved?
When the bees are just gone.
When the bees are no longer there.
When the bees are no longer visible.
Okay, then I do think it would change. Because, like, those bees, you hit that thing with a baseball bat, those bees are extremely territorial. Like, they will not leave you alone. I think while it's not going to feel that pain, it is going to see those bees flying around for the next 5 hours.
And I think
maybe 10 hours.
I think it's going to continue to have the baseball bat and just keep swinging the baseball bat, thinking it's solving the solution.
Then let's give it a time frame. Let's give it 1 hour to solve this. Do you think that's changing it?
I still think... I think kind of your solution, I think it's going to take the baseball bat, beat it for an hour. If it doesn't work, it's going to self-destruct.
No self-destruction in this scenario. This is a thing that can learn from itself, right? This is
it can learn from itself.
That's what I was talking about. Remember that, like, the the machine that was driving the car through the track. Right, that's the robot I'm thinking of.
Okay.
And it's the robot from iRobot with that kind of brain, right? Or with the learning brain.
Okay.
I think it's first time it is gonna either grab the bow and arrow or it is gonna grab the
bat.
The bat, 100%. I think it will eventually. I think it will do all of the things, but I don't know, like how many times is it gonna try with the bat? How many times is it gonna try with the bow and arrow? How many times is it gonna try with the flamethrower? Get it right.
But
like,
have we programmed the robot to know how to use each one of these tools?
Yeah, it's the iRobot one. It has pretty good like joint movement and stuff, and it can swing a bat for sure.
But it knows how to use a bow and arrow.
I guess that's also a fair question. Maybe like it has the basic like functions, but it doesn't know how to swing it. Like it knows what it is, it can pick it up, but like swinging it is going to be a learn. It's going to have to learn. Like they're going to have to learn how to do that.
So then I think if we give it an hour, I think it's going to take 30 minutes for this freaking robot to learn how to swing this bat, then try to solve the solution, and I think the hour is going to be up. By the time
Yeah, well this is an infinite, it has infinite tries. I'm talking how many times, like the best, like let's talk about the best solution, I guess. So in my mind, the best solution is to freeze all the bees, collect them in a bag, close that bag, and throw them in the trash.
Agreed.
Suffocate them in some way. And so how long is it going to take the robot to get to that solution with those parameters that we've just given?
Now, that's tricky because you said put in a bag and dispose of the bag. Now, it's not programmed to go find a certain bag. I think it's going to be lost.
Well, I think, okay, let's say there's a bag within the vicinity.
Sure.
It can see, just for argument's sake, it can see the bag.
I think if it has to learn how to use each one of these tools, I think it takes 5-6 hours.
Oh, I think it takes much longer than that. I think it's going to take like 600-700 tries. I think, because think about it, like there's a bunch of different ways that you can even take a bat. Like you could go knock that thing off, and you could beat the hive itself, and you could beat that for an hour and see what happens. Or you could identify each individual bee that's flying in the air and try and knock every single one of them out. Right? It's gonna progress through all those attempts before it even gets to the freezing, right?
But like think about it this way though, if it picks the freezing as the first option, okay, right? And then he's like, oh, he tried to like freeze one bee that's flying around and it froze and he fell to the ground. He's like, oh, I've now learned that if I freeze one bee, it falls to the ground. Okay, what if it's like, what if I freeze all of the bees in the hive? But then is that critical thinking that he does not have?
I think it may like, it's going to try something until it works. It's going to try the same thing until a different outcome happens. So if all of a sudden you're aiming at one bee and two bees fly into that, then that's when it learns, oh, I can freeze more than one bee. And then it says, oh, I'm going to freeze those two bees fly into each other, and then I freeze 3 bees. And then all of a sudden, in a few hundred attempts later, these they run when those like racetracks are run. It is like thousands and thousands and thousands of attempts, and you see the robot even like making the same mistake over and over and over, and these tiny, tiny, tiny corrections because that's not working.
I mean, I guess because like, say he does start with bow and arrow, right? Takes him 100 tries just to figure out how the bow and arrow works.
Yeah.
Okay?
How is it gonna learn to shoot? What, like if you don't tell it what a bow and arrow is, it's gonna go see those two pieces. And I guess, does it know that there's two pieces, that you have to have the bow and the arrow?
Right. So we gotta think at like toddler brain type stuff.
Yeah, and but like the progression eventually will be a lot faster, kind of. Eventually.
Well, like
getting there though.
I don't think the progression will change because each tool changes as he progresses, right? So like the progression might get faster by using the baseball bat. He might grab it in the middle and try to swing it like this, right? Yeah. But then he's like, oh, that doesn't work, right? He grabs it by the fat end, right? And he's like, this is too skinny. Then okay, so that's several hundred tries. Okay, and then he's like, this object doesn't work. Okay, then he grabs the bow and arrow. Okay, now he's just got this bow. No, not even an arrow. What's he doing with the bow? Now he thinks he can use this like a baseball bat. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
maybe.
saying?
No, I think that's true. And eventually, like maybe eventually, you're like, oh, this is not a baseball bat. It's not the same. Like all of a sudden, I grab it in the middle, and it's like on the string, and it's like it's all shaky. Like, what does that mean? You know?
But then, like, how does it put two and two together of, like, the arrow goes with the bow? So, like,
That
does he put the bow down and grab the arrow and, like,
Probably.
starts as, like, a baseball bat, right? And says it's work. Then he throws the object, right? And he's like, oh, it flies. Okay? Then it's, like, 900 tries to try to hit every single bee. Right? And he's like,
Yeah.
how can I make this better? But he would never get to this point, I don't think.
Maybe you don't know. Maybe it's like, oh, that thing flies. Oh, that thing's a string. And maybe you would just grab the string and you just like put the arrow on top of the string and throw the whole thing. Then like I think it might eventually, given enough tries, like anything is possible.
Okay, hear me out. How many times do you think this robot is going to accidentally harm himself?
I think with the flamethrower especially, or like the 100%, because it's gonna be like, what the fuck is this, and turn it on,
Yeah.
and it's on fire.
Or he literally like squeezes it too hard and the canister explodes and he just accidentally self-destructs himself.
Could be, yeah. But this, it can come back. Like this is
Yeah, it like regenerates. It's respawn.
Yeah, sure.
It's got
Yeah, or
infinite...
it's gonna freeze itself, and how long is it gonna take to fucking unthaw, or so whatever,
Yeah, imagine like freezing yourself because you don't know what this thing is, and then you unthaw, and then you're like, man, that was a waste of 5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so. Can you imagine like watching this robot just like all day long, just trying to figure this out?
That's what I'm saying. You put like a short robot in a room with a small conflict and give it this information. I think it would be hilarious to watch.
Oh, it was so funny. Also, why does the robot have to be short?
Because like rooms are small, and I feel like robots are typically big, and so I'm like, you just put a small robot in a small room, it'd be easier.
It could be a normal sized robot in a large room.
Sure, it could be a large robot in a large room. Like, I don't care. I just feel like rooms are typically small, so put a small robot in there. I'm like,
all right, let's do some fucking office trivia. I think we've we've beat this topic enough with our stupidity.
Okay, last thing. I just think eventually, in 50 years, when we're, have the AI capabilities in our hands as general public, I'm gonna build a robot and I'm gonna test this theory.
Yeah, well, I'll just, I think what iRobot is like onto something. I think there will be a robot for every single person, and I'm gonna fucking give it. I'm gonna say, here, solve this conflict. Go get rid of those bees. Here's these 5 tools. You can only use those tools.
Yeah.
You can use whichever tool you want.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I want to see what happens.
Dude, people would fuck with those robots so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
God.
be like, but it can also turn into like a good thing. Like, hey, I don't know how to solve this problem. Here's the information I know. I'm programming you the information I already know to solve this problem. Can you help me? Like, I think it can go both ways, but then I also think like it could go terribly. Like, hey, could I drive a car with no arms? Figure it out. And I think it's gonna sit there and try to figure out how to drive a car with no arms.
I'll tell you how to drive a car with no arms right now.
You got 8-foot long legs. That's not my problem. You can drive with your knee. I cannot.
Yeah, that shit's funny. Or I think the robot will just drive it with its head.
Then it can't see. Then it crashes the car. There's test number 1.
Well, there's also the idea that like you can pull your foot up, and you can use the gas pedal, and then you can kind of do a little bit of this.
I would love to like be driving down the road and see a robot steering with his leg, dude.
Listen, I mean, what is there a limit to a robot's flexibility? It can't feel pain,
I mean, but also like you got wiring and shit. Like what happens is like pops a wire off and he just like goes to sleep.
It's self-destructed.
It's self-destructed. Oh my God. Imagine if a robot got so frustrated he was just like, nope.
Fuck Fuck this.
Fuck this. I'm done.
I mean, is that emotion? Is that how robots get emotion right there? Fuck this.
I would literally pay to see a robot try a task and be like, nah.
Hey, you're like, solve it or put this puzzle together. Nope. I fucking love it. Oh my God.
How hilarious, dude. Okay, now I'm really excited to potentially have a robot in my near future.
Near just build one, bro. Why don't you do it? You can do that. Oh, go talk to Boston Dynamics. Pitch them this idea.
Who?
Boston Dynamics? Like the people that create those like advanced robots. Have you never seen that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the one that like go viral?
Yeah, then there's like a dog, and there's like one that dances. There's one that like does like flips and stuff.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, can you create a robot with a self-destruct button? Give it a task. And be like, program be like, your absolute last resort is self-destruct.
Or like, well, no, I think you just program the self-destruction as an option to complete the task.
And just see if it goes right for self.
First try. It's the first try. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. I can complete this task like this.
Done.
100%.
Oh
100%.
He's just like sitting here like doing a puzzle. Nah, dude. I would laugh so hard. Okay.
Oh my God.
Enough about robots.
Anyway.
What do you got for me office trivia wise?
Oh, shit. Speaking of robots, what is Dwight's robot name? He for Earth Day.
Oh, Recyclops.
Recyclops, yeah, that's not a robot, but
yeah.
what's the enemy planet called? Or like rival people.
Oh shit. Cause he swore to take down he once swore to protect Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So like this might be from a different movie, like Morag or something like that.
That's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's Poluticorn.
I would have never guessed Poluticorn.
Poluticorn. Lock that in your memory bank. What do you got?
Ooh, this is tough. Because I don't know the full question, I don't know the full answer. But when Jim impersonates Dwight in that cold open. Right? Oh, okay, I got the whole question. So he's like, he recreated Dwight's whole outfit.
Mm-hmm.
How much does the whole outfit cost? I think I've asked this one before.
Do you know the answer?
I'm between two numbers right now.
I want to say it costs $7.
I think it's 12.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a tough one because he's like total of $12 or something.
For
like
grand
that.
total, $12.
Yeah,
I picked these little number up at the drugstore for $3. The shirt cost me $2.
Well, that's not 12.
But I mean, he said other things.
I drank this whole thing. Anyways, what else do I got?
Ooh. There's a lot of office trivia. I was thinking the other day, there are so many that we haven't even broken into yet. I swear.
What do you mean?
There really are. But I mean, there's just so much that goes on. You can use anything as trivia. What are the weapons that Nate tried to use to take down the beehive?
That's true.
How did Dwight and Nate meet?
Ooh.
Does Dwight speak Spanish?
What is Toby's Dundee Award?
Oof.
The second Dundee's with D'Angelo.
Ugliest in the office, maybe?
The most repulsive.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
his speech like?
Oh, it's
Tell me
about
his speech.
His speech is about the Scranton Strangler and how he thinks he's innocent or whatever, or he wants to discuss further or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just remember later down the road when Nelly is there, it's season 9, I think, and he's like,
That's the end.
yeah, I think he's like, I think the Scranton Strangler's innocent. I'm gonna go down to the jail.
I
And-
think that's like season 7 or 8 because we don't see him for all of season 9, and then he moves to fucking like somewhere.
Oh, that's
And,
right. That's right. That's right.
uh,
That's right.
So I think you're right. You are. That does he does do that, and he gets strangled.
Yeah. He gets and he can't talk, and he's got that shit around his neck.
And then he's like writing a book or something like that. Or I don't know.
The Flenderson novels.
The Flenderson Files.
Files. Yeah. This is what I do not know. Don't know the answer. Season 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know. The interns. What are their names?
You want to know their nicknames or their names?
Both.
I can. The nicknames come a little easier.
Okay.
Alan Thicke.
Speaking of which, before you continue, I cannot picture Alan Thicke in my head right now.
Isn't he the guy that does the Trump impressions? Alan Thicke. No. That's
No.
Is that Alan Thicke? I don't remember. But Alan Thicke is
Yeah, he's weird looking.
a little bit. The other two were celebrity names, but I can't fucking remember them.
I can't either. I don't know the answer.
What are the second round of interns' names? Or the new hires, I guess. Nicknames.
Oh, Plop
Mm-hmm.
and Dwight Jr.
Dwight Jr., but what does Andy call Dwight Jr. before they have told Andy? Andy comes back from his backpacking trip. He calls it Plop and someone else, and he's like, "No, I like Dwight Jr. much better."
Yeah, because Kevin said, or Daryl says, we actually. Oh no, Daryl's like, we actually call him Dwight Jr.
Yeah.
Kevin says his original name.
Not his original name, but his original nickname.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Original nickname.
I can't remember.
You don't even know?
No, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Dwidgets Jr. first nickname.
Do you remember his real name?
Like in real life?
No, like his.
Oh, I know
name.
it. I found the answer.
What is it?
Fart.
Fart? Plop and fart?
Andy initially calls Clark Fart, but he prefers to Dwight Jr.
What is
Yeah.
What is Fart really good at?
Slacklining.
Why?
Because he took a class in college?
No, he says that he has really good balance, but he says his doctor always tells him that he has huge inner eardrums.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was like a joke.
What the fuck? Who's... Oh, no. Ooh, when Dwight shoots a gun in the office, this is an easy one. What does Pam try to make Dwight put in his holster?
A banana.
Yeah, damn, that's easy.
I don't think it was. Was it Pam or was it
Pam.
someone else?
It's Pam.
Was it Kevin?
It was Pam. It's weird because like I see you on like 3 different screens right now, so I'm like looking all over the place, but I see you everywhere. I'm like looking right at you right now, but I'm looking at this screen.
What new candy does Pam put at reception and Kevin gets excited, but there's something?
So Pam puts new candy from Puerto Rico.
Nope. Wrong time. You're right. That does happen.
Oh, fuck.
She makes new candy at one, like, she makes an announcement. She's like, New Year, new candy, guys, and puts it out. And then Kevin walks right over and gets some.
Jelly
But
beans?
she tells him to be careful.
Jelly beans.
No. Well, kind of.
I
But
don't.
it's not the name. Hot tamales.
Oh, yeah, she goes, careful, Kevin, they're spicy.
Maybe start with 1.
Yeah.
Say Michael.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a tough one.
I don't know even. It's hard to ask. It's hard to ask that question.
Okay. Who are the leaks for the Saber printer fires?
Like fucking everyone, honestly.
We'll just say who
The-
meets in Meredith's van.
Ooh. Andy. Kelly. No, not the Kelly you're thinking of.
Yes, Kelly.
Aaron. Sorry.
No, is Kelly Kapoor.
Oh, really? Andy, Kelly, and Daryl?
It's Andy, Kelly, Pam,
Who leaked it
Daryl, and Meredith.
to the press? Who? Who is it? Andy, Kelly,
Daryl, Pam, and Meredith.
and Michael's there, isn't he?
Yeah, but
Michael's running it.
he's just trying to talk to them.
Yeah. No, is it that many people? Are you sure? Because there should be 5 of them total. That was 6.
Oh,
So
then
there's
Meredith
3
just comes in and just like, oh, sorry, you're using my van or something like that. I can't remember. Meredith
Who's
is
sitting in
in
the back?
Kelly and Daryl.
And
Just those two, and then it's
Andy in the front.
Andy.
Andy and Michael in the front.
Now I'm all confused.
I don't know. Fuck it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it.
Deuces.
Hope you enjoyed our dumb robot talk. It's very entertaining for us.
I loved it. I'm building a robot.
Yeah, build a robot. All right. Like and subscribe. Shout out Big Mike Angles. Anyone? Sponsor us.
Venmo me. Now. Okay, bye.